Oh joy, another screwball comedy starring Zach Galifianakis. Yay. Hello and welcome back to another midnight showing. As always, I'm Kelly and I just got out of Keeping Up with the Joneses. An actually surprisingly kind of enjoyable film. I'm not going to say it's good by any stretch of the imagination, and I can see why people would have problems with it, but as far as comedies go, it made me laugh. It didn't have the line-a-rama crap, and it had some enjoyable moments. So, yeah. But let's get on to it, and let's go straight into... The plot of this movie is basically that Zach Galifianakis and Esla Fitcher, who I assume is just going to be there inside of Now You See Me 3, now that she's inside of this, are spying on their new neighbors played by Jon Hamm and Gal Gadot. Or Gadot. I'm sorry, which way do you pronounce it again? Anyway, they move into the neighborhood and are seemingly perfect, only to find out they are not perfect. In fact, they are super spies who are investigating Zach Galifianakis and his company. This is a very, very standard plot and has a lot of things similar to, well, going to a comedy from earlier this year, Central Intelligence. That you have these two normal people that are dragged into this world of spies by spies who didn't really do their job very well. Seriously, could you at least pack up your spy gear before you leave your house? I mean, it just seems like leaving stuff out in the open is just begging for you to get caught. But I will say that the actors, all four of the leads on this, really did play up their characters to believable but extreme characters. You get what I'm saying? Believable extremes. Jon Hamm and Gal Gadot as the spies work very well. Their back and forth during actual fight scenes and gun shootouts and things is really entertaining. And I just have to say this, Gal Gadot, I really underestimated your acting chops back when I heard that you were going to be playing Wonder Woman. I am so retroactively sorry for this because you were actually really good in this movie. She's smart. She has great comedic timing. She has very, very good chemistry with Jon Hamm. I just want to say I'm sorry because when you two were paired up, I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. I'm not going to lie. And I'll even go as far as to say that Zach Galifianakis didn't bug me like he usually does. Usually, he's one of those shtick actors who does the same thing in every role, and we expect it to be different. I mean, for God's sakes, we had 3 Hangover movies, and only one of those was decent. The first one. So, what was so special about this guy? Based on movies like this? The fact that he can play more than one character. He's not playing his usual, very, very awkward stupid that you get in his other films. This one, he's actually playing more of the naive stupid. He is just genuinely a good person who believes the best in people and doesn't want to accept reality at sometimes because he's so desperately trying to cling to that perfect little image in his head. And it made for a very entertaining watch, especially when you can actually see him getting through to super spy Jon Hamm, and they actually form a bromance with each other that is kind of cool to watch. I'm not going to lie. And let's not deny Esla Fitcher her due inside of this, because frankly speaking, she was making some really bad material come off really funny inside of this movie. I'm not going to lie. There are moments where she steals the scene. She really does. Where she's just having this stupid argument with a neighbor or Zach Galifianakis, and it doesn't go where you think it's going to go. And it's clear that she's not making this up on the spot like you see in a lot of the line-a-rama comedies that come out, where they just let the camera play and let the actors improv over it. No, these are actually written out jokes, which is so rare to see in these movies. So I think that the best way to sum up the good jokes in this movie were basically the jokes where Esla Fitcher or Zach Galifianakis had to basically try to outdo the Joneses inside of this movie. The best example of this I can think of, and it was the one that really got me laughing, the most was there's a dinner barbecue that everyone's invited to, and what's his name? Jon Hamm. And he just starts telling his stories about his wondrous life as this writer and whatnot. And he's got everyone enthralled. And Zach Galifianakis gives him a beer, and the guy literally opens it by just going like that. You can see him actually hook it under his ring and pull the cap off of the beer. And it was really cool. And then you can just see Zach Galifianakis wanting to not lose face to this, so he tries to do that, but he's not wearing a ring on that hand. So he ends up just slicing his hand and breaking the top half of his beer bottle off. And you see blood just gushing from this wound. And he's still trying to play it off as cool. It's moments like that that really did cement the comedy in this movie and why it worked. It wasn't, improv. It was a well-written out joke that was extraordinarily well acted, and it got a great laugh out of me, as you can see. But that's not to say this movie is perfect. In fact, I could even go as far as to say this movie isn't very good. Yeah, you know what's coming. Oh, for every one joke that hits, there's at least two that didn't. I don't want to say that in like a negative context. I don't want to, but it really is one. This is the downside to any comedy, is that it's all subjective. And there were so many times when they were just prattling on and on. Zach Galifianakis' interactions with his co-workers at work especially were just so painfully boring. Nothing was really happening. I don't want to make it sound like it was his fault. I would say it's more of the other actors in the movie who didn't really get with the lines that they're supposed to go with, or maybe they did get them and they just weren't very good. I can't really say for sure, but there are long stretches of this movie where, to put it bluntly, nothing happens. And also, I kind of mentioned it before, but this is a pretty predictable setup, and if you're tired of seeing this setup, then you're going to get really tired of this movie fast, and it's only like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes long. Also, there's just these weird moments where Zach Galifianakis seems to, slip back into his old persona, and he says something just monumentally stupid, like when he's questioning Hammond and Gadot when they actually go through the first shootout and they're just eating at a diner. When he actually starts questioning him about things that, I'm just going to ask questions, then if you can answer them, then just answer them. They start going it off, and then they cut away, and he's like, okay, question 17. After a shootout like this, who cleans out the bullets? He's like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? You had a setup for a decent joke there, but then you just went off in nowhere land with it. God damn it. It's hard to stay engaged when there are jokes like that clearly were meant to be funny, and there's a pause where there's meant to be funny, but yeah, you're not laughing. So what are you doing? Also, I mentioned before that Hamm and Gadot are really bad spies in this movie. They are extremely bad spies that don't listen to orders, leave their shit out in the open, get caught, fall for their people that they're supposed to be playing, and a whole slew of other things that could have gotten them fired in this movie. Yeah, I somehow just don't see The Rock making those mistakes inside of Central Intelligence. So why did you? But anyway, we might as well move on to... Look, this comedy is not perfect. There were some legitimately funny moments inside of it that even got some good hearty laughs out of me, and even have me still thinking about fondly afterwards. There are also some really, really bad, terrible moments that just fall flat fast. So, my personal final verdict is this is probably a wait for Redbox title. It's nothing that you need to see immediately. It's not even something I would even recommend that you go out of your way to see. But if you see it inside the Redbox and you're looking for a good movie to see, honest to God, just go check it out. You won't be too disappointed. And yeah, that's basically all I gotta say. So, did you see Keeping Up with the Joneses? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below. Maybe we'll get some healthy discussion going. And as always, if you liked what you see, be sure to hit the like button, the share button, and subscribe for more. Be sure to follow me on the social medias like Facebook and Twitter, and I'll be doing some stuff on Twitch, so be sure to follow me there. And yeah, that's it for me, so I guess I'll see you all next time.